What's going on, y'all? I feel amazing right now. Feeling like a dog. What's going on, y'all? Y'all know I'm so crazy. It's the new year. I feel amazing. I've just been like in this really just amazing vibe for the new year. It's just so many, so why am I laughing? I always laugh. Oh my God. Well, we get into some things, because we gonna get into some things. Yeah, we gonna get into some things. Before I start this video, if you haven't already, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Y'all know Alright. So down. Honestly, y'all, I have been in such a amazing space for the new year. And I don't know, I just can't explain. I feel, even being like on camera, like I feel really great. It hasn't even been a week. And you know, I just feel so positive about this year. I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see like how much I can accomplish this year. I've been planning my year out. I've been working. I've just been focusing on myself. I cut, you know, some connections off, you know, not in a evil, malicious way, but this year is just all about me. You know, I have to be selfish with my time. I just have to be selfish. Yeah, I'm grinding. I'm focusing on me. You know, I'm becoming the best version of myself. Like, I'm just, you know, it's that type of energy. Like, it feels so amazing. I'm not going to do so much. I don't want to do too much talking and drag this video along, because I be dragging it sometimes. So assuming you see the title, you already know what this video is going to be about. Why am I laughing? Y'all, I be laughing at stuff that is not supposed to be funny. I don't know if I'm the only person. Let me know in the comments below if you be laughing at shit that's not supposed to be funny. Like, it be stuff that's like serious. And I don't know if it's like a defense mechanism or something. I'm just like, I laugh. And it's like, bitch, that's not funny. Anyway, because this story isn't funny or whatever, so I'm gonna kind of try to tone it down. What is wrong with me? I'm gonna try to tone it down a bit. Okay, I thought it would be important for me to talk about this story, because although, you know, I'm fine and stuff like that, this story really could have went a truly different way, and I probably would have never even been here to tell you guys the story, to be completely honest. So the story takes place about 3 years ago, right? So, this is one of the main reasons why I don't do the gay dating app, okay? When I say the apps, if you're a gay boy, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a female, there are apps like Grindr, Jax, Tinder. Those are all like the same kind of, you know, situations. The gay apps, to me, it's like 70% like, I'm trying to link, you know what I mean? And the other 30% is like, you know, you actually might meet somebody who you might, you know, be friends with, end up being friends with. Because I'm not gonna lie, I did meet 2 people who I'm to this day, we're like really great friends. We never had any type of encounters or anything like that. We're just genuinely great friends, okay? So this particular app that I'm talking about is called Jax. It's called Jax, right? So, oh my gosh, tell a story, damn. You know, this is something I don't think I've really shared to people before. And it's just, I feel like, you know, and maybe I'll make a separate video addressing this, but, you know, I think it's really hard. Well, I'll say this, past tense. Growing up, like being young and gay, it was kind of hard for me to try to find where like I fit in the whole like love spectrum, you know, because I just always felt like I had like 3 strikes against me. The fact that I'm dark skinned, the fact that I'm like a little thicker, and the fact that I'm like femme, you know, it's just, I feel like in the gay community, those like type of traits are like, I mean, and granted, things have changed a bit, you know, nowadays. But, you know, I'm talking about like 10 years ago, like when I was like 16, 17, it was like such a bad thing. So I just felt like, I always kind of felt like at the time I used to like be on these apps to kind of like seek like certain like validations, you know what I mean? Like, again, I don't know if you guys remember, well, if you like gay, you probably remember. There used to be like this website called like BGC Live or whatever. That's like OG shit. But for me, it never was like, cause I'm such a scary person when it comes to like linking people up. Like, I'm the type of person where it's like, I be texting you down, like I text some things, like, but in person, I'm kind of like shy. It's like, wait, I said I was gonna do what?
I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes I get a little quiet.
Like, I'm really like that type of person. So for me, it just always was like more so just like a validation. Like, wow, like I do exist in the world. Like, there are guys that are actually attracted to me, you know, being femme, being, you know, dark skinned, being, you know, a little thicker. So I definitely have grown out of that, the way I like think about myself. Cause you know, bitch is confident now. I look the fuck good. Ain't nobody telling me nothing. I do have a bunch of confidence now, but you know, just back then, you know, I just wanted to kind of explain like, you know, my reason for like being on apps or whatever. This particular reason, you know, I downloaded Jack. I was single, you know, wasn't talking to anyone. And that's just a whole nother thing because, you know, I feel like as being a social media influencer, people just assume that you have all of these people that you talk to. And it's like the complete opposite.
Imagination.
So, you know, we grown, okay? We grown. We all have needs. And it was just, I was on the app because it was like, well, damn, let me just see if I can, something can float my boat, you know? I download the app, right? I want to say, not less than a day, this guy hits me up. Fine wine, you know, light skin, black, you know, waves and swim, like, just how I like, you know. So he hits me up, and the guy looked really familiar. I used to see him at the gym a lot. So to me, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just like, okay, well, maybe he didn't want to speak to me at the gym, and he just decided to hit me up on the app, whatever, right? We chat. The chat is very brief. It's one of those, like, you already know what it's hitting for. It's not given like I'm trying to meet you, get to know the family. It's just like, it is what it is, okay? And like I said, I downloaded the app because it was given that anyway, so I ain't really care. We chat is very, like I said, we chat is very brief or whatever. We exchange phone numbers, and we text up for like the next few days because we were gonna kind of, you know, meet or whatever. This is where the scary starts, okay? So the day comes, we meet up. It's about, I want to say 10 o'clock, 11. It's late at night. He gives me the address. The address isn't far from my house. I'm like, all right, cool. Be there in a little bit. Da, da, da. Get to the apartment building. Get to the building. Apartment building, same shit. The building was one of you, like, I don't know if you guys are from New York City, you're probably familiar with these type of buildings. It wasn't like the main, like one of those main buildings. It was like one of those buildings that be in between the blocks that got the scaffold and like, you know, it's like a walk-up situation, no elevators in the building, like that type of situation, right? So that was already a red flag, but I'm like, all right, whatever, because, you know, I have been to friends who live in those type of buildings, and they have nice apartments, so I was like, okay, whatever, it's not that big of a deal, right? I don't know if I text or I call, I'm like, I'm here, I'm outside, he's like, cool. So he comes down the steps. Now the door was like, it was a regular door, but it had like a little square glass box in the middle of it. So all I could really see was just someone coming down the steps through that little glass box or whatever. So he comes down the steps. I see somebody with like a hoodie on or whatever, a black hoodie. He comes down the steps and he opens the door. But I can't really, cause he has like the hoodie on. I can't really see his face too much. Whatever, cool. So now we're like inside the building. I noticed a few things. The first thing I noticed, he was not the boy from the gym. He was not the person in the picture. So I'm a little like annoyed. Second thing is, he's a familiar face. Now I don't know if I'm assuming because we live in the same borough, and I'm not tooting my own horns, but I know a lot of people know me, and my thing is like, I don't know if he knew that, but I knew his cousins, so it's like, it was a situation where it's like, I don't know if you probably know about me, but like I know about you. You know, like I knew of him, like I've seen him around before and all that. But like I said, I don't know how deep he knew. I don't know if he knew that I knew that about him. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, you know, the black lace skin look good. Like, you know, he looked good still. Like, no shit. Like, he looked good. Like, you know, like, but then it was like, it was that. And then it was also, it was like, I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, I didn't know you was gay. Like, you know, okay, outside, but I don't want to misjudge anyone or mislabel anyone. Maybe he was bi, maybe he's bi. Well, I think he goes with women, so I would say bisexual. But nevertheless, I didn't know that he dealt with men in general, okay? Like, I never got that vibe from him. But like I said, I don't really know him like that, but he's familiar, right? So, all of these things are kind of coming in my head because I'm like, damn, like, I'm annoyed because it's like, why did you send me the other picture? But I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you're not ugly, but I'm still like kind of skeptical, right? Still little red flags going on, right? So I think the first thing I say to him, I'm like, okay, well, I was like, that wasn't you in the picture. He said something like, oh yeah, I know, I just found his picture and I just used it or whatever. So I'm just like, oh. So second of all, he has on all black. So he has a black hoodie on, black pants, black sneakers. Then his hand was like in some type of like cast situation. I don't know if it was like his whole arm, but I think like his hand was like in a cast or something. So it was giving me very like gutter, like you be fighting people. Like I just don't know. So that kind of was like another little like flag. I'm like, what's going on? But so we walk up. The walk up was like 3 flights. I'm already over that. So I'm like, I gotta walk up these steps. Oh, this is annoying. Like I said, everything is kind of like, it's so many red flags. And again, for anyone who's watching, if you ever find yourself in this type of situation, leave on the first red flag, okay? But anyway, me being me, I'm like, oh, whatever. So now we're outside of the apartment. And so I wanted you guys to kind of like visualize the building. So the building itself is really small. So it's like literally once you get off the steps, it's like the apartments is like right here and right here. So I'm like kind of still on the steps and he's knocking on the door. So to me, I'm kind of like, because we spoke and you said you had your own place or whatever. So I'm a little like, okay, what's this about? Why are you knocking on the door? Like I didn't like, you know, but I'm like, okay, maybe it could still be, maybe it could, you know, he has a roommate or whatever. Cool. No, so he's knocking. He's like, oh damn, he probably sleep. So I guess he probably just seen like in my face, because I think I do wear my face, my expressions on my face. And I'm just looking at him like, what's going on? Like I'm ready to just like hit it, turn around. I'm still standing there, but I guess the only thing that kind of kept me is because he had like this. It was a different kind of vibe. Like, you know, I don't deal with the trade. Ladies, if you know what trade is just a guy who is straight, but trade is a DL guy. Okay, he's straight to everyone else, but he messes with gay men on the low.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Like every gay boy has definitely messed with trade in some capacity, but that's just like a young mindset. When you get older, you're just not into that kind of stuff. I'm just not doing that. So, but his mannerisms was a little bit different. So as he's like knocking on the door, whatever, whoever wasn't answering the door, he's like, "Oh, you good? You know, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." So that kind of like made me feel like a little at ease and like, okay, whatever. So now I think he was in the midst of calling whoever. And then I guess he heard footsteps or something like that. So he's like, oh, there he go right there. He's coming out right now. So puts his phone in the pocket or whatever. Again, I'm just, you know, I'm looking up and down. I'm like, you know. So someone comes to the door, they unlock the door, and they just kind of open the door. It was almost like if someone like opened the door and like kept walking, like went back to wherever they was going. You know, he catches the door, he opens the door, whatever. I kind of follow him in, but it's pitch black. Like, the house is pitch, like it's no type of light is on. So now I'm kind of like, oh, okay. I think I closed the door and I attempt to like lock the door, whatever. So the next part I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna kind of drag it out a little bit, but just keep in mind that this happened literally like 15 to 30 seconds, what I'm about to tell you. But I just want to kind of tell you like my thought process and everything like that, right? So I lock the door. He walks up, he makes like a right or whatever, right? So I kind of do the same thing. Now, at the end of the hallway, there's a room. And that's the only light that's on, right? Everything else is dark. I can't really see where nothing else is at. There's just a room. The room is there, right? In the room is empty. It's literally just one chair. It's one like big dresser, like, you know, like the dresser where you put like your clothes in. Like, so it's like one dresser, it's a chair, and nothing else. So now, at this point, I take a few more steps going closer to the room, right? And I stop. I stop in my tracks, right? The first thing I see is two black, folded up, two black garbage bags. You know, like them industrial shits. Them shits that they be putting bodies in. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? It appeared to be about 2 or maybe 3 black garbage bags, but they were folded, right? The reason why I know all this stuff is because my dad, he does like interior design and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm familiar with different type of tools and just kind of seeing that stuff like around, right? I see that that's on the table. I see like a pack of bandages. Then aside from that, there's like this big screwdriver. And then there's, oh shit. Wow. And then there's like this wire cutter. I don't know if you guys know it. I'll try to insert the picture, but it has like yellow handles and it's really big. It's a wire cutter, right? Now, again, this is all that I see. I'm literally like 5 steps away from the bedroom or the room because there wasn't any bed in the room. And this is what I see. So in my mind, again, this is all happening in my mind in the seconds. I see that. My heart drops like in my panties, honey. Let me not even joke about this because honestly, my heart drops. Even now, I'm kind of like getting a little chills because I don't know about y'all. First of all, I watch too much TV, and Scandal is one of my favorite shows that I like to watch. Okay, well, it was when it was on. One thing about Scandal and one thing about Huck, if y'all watch Scandal, y'all know it. I know Huck used to put that plastic on that floor and be torturing people with the wire cutters and all of that. So in my mind instantly, it gave me that, right? Then also, it was the fact that I'm like, okay, well, he's a familiar face. And again, I'm like, I don't really think he's gay. So to me, it was given like some type of like kidnap ransom type of situation. You feel me? Because it's like, again, I've seen you around before. You never really gave me that vibes. And then I know that, you know, I'm popular. Again, I'm not trying to toot my own horns, but you know, I'm popular, but listen, don't get it twisted. I'm popular, but I'm nowhere where I want to be, okay? I think certain perceptions online, people just think differently, okay? So in that moment, I'm thinking like maybe it was that type of situation. So my natural reaction was to jet, but then also in my mind, I'm like, damn, someone else opened the door. So I think I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, again, all this is happening in 30 seconds. I'm like, I know if I like try to run, I'm gonna get hit. Like somebody gonna hit me or whatever. Like I think I was mentally preparing myself for that. But I also was like, I don't want to go in this room. Like I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take my chances. In that moment, I remember just praying. And I prayed to God and I was like, Lord, I will never like link up. I just get me out of this situation. I took 2 steps. Now, mind you, the boy, he went in the room, but he kind of went off to the side. I don't know what he did or whatever. He went off to the side. So as I'm taking my steps backwards, I remember him kind of like peeking or whatever to kind of see like why I wasn't in the room already. And he's like, yo, you good? I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I took another step. And I took another step to the right. I unlocked that door so quick. I opened that shit up. And I dashed out. My heart is pounding in my ears or whatever like that. I'm like by the 2nd floor. He had kind of came out or whatever. And here's the thing. Again, I don't know. I'm such a nice person. And I always give the people the benefit now. Now, I'm going to tell this next part. I don't want people to jump in like, oh, bitch, I would have said that. The reason why I guess I kind of was a little more chill at that moment was a few things. So when he came out, he's like, you know, yo, wait. Like, the look on his face and the energy he gave me, he looked like genuinely, like, confused and concerned at the same time to, like, what just happened. Because, you know, I just, like, dashed out. So he's like, yo, you good? Like, what's up? What's wrong? I'm just like, no, I feel uncomfortable. Like, and he's just like, what happened? Like, what's the matter? I'm just like, what was that on the table? Like, you got scissors and shit. I don't know, not scissors. I'm like, you know, you got screwdrivers and like, what's that? He's like, what? Oh no, I had no idea. So basically, the story he gave me was that was basically the trap house. That was somewhere he just kind of went to kind of like do his little ones and twos. He took me to the trap basically, and whoever lived there, obviously was the person who opened the door. He kind of gave them money or whatever, they go about their business, and he just kind of used the apartment or whatever. So he said that he didn't really know what that was or whatever. Again, like I said, at that moment, I kind of felt bad because, like I said, he wasn't giving me the energy of trade. And I want to say that because, you know, when you deal with, like, those type of DL guys, you have the ones who are just, like, they're still in denial. It's like they're in the act, but they're in denial at the same time. It's like, I'm not gay, but they don't do too much talking. They don't do too much of anything. Like, you know, it's just like, it is what it is. He kind of seemed like someone who was, I would say, like, bisexual, like just a discreet person who just was like bisexual to me. That's what it kind of gave, because it was like a deep, like, I felt like a deep sorrow of like what happened. He just wanted to make sure that I was okay, to the point where he was like, you know, well, it's fine, you know, we don't gotta do it, you know, at the time, it's cool, I'm so sorry, he was just, you know, he kept saying he was sorry and all of that kind of stuff. And he asked, you know, asked me to give him a hug, which I kind of, again, felt like that was, I was like, you gonna give me a hug for what? In my mind, bitch, I'm like, you wanna try to, see, I be thinking too much. I'm like, he might try to give me a hug, stick a little needle on my neck, bitch, drag me back upstairs. So I'm just like, but again, I didn't really feel like that. And I felt like also because we was in like the hallway and it was like really small, like if he was to start getting it shaking, like, or whatever, like, so it could be a lot of commotion. People would like come outside or whatever. So I kind of felt like all of these like emotions in one. I gave him a hug or whatever. He was like, you know, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Yada yada yada. And we kind of ended, and I said, okay, well, you know, I'll text you or whatever. I left there and I was just so shaken. Like, I literally was just like shaking because I just couldn't believe, like, I couldn't believe it. You know, again, like I said, with so many red flags, it was like initially like you wasn't the person in the picture. You was all black. You know, I seen that table. I seen all of these other things, and I just didn't really know what that type of vibe was. It was just very, very sketchy. So, you know, I made it home safely. He wound up texting me as well. We did link again. It was at another location. We met in person. We kind of chatted. He wound up calling me, stuff like that. That's why I said I don't really think that he was like the trade, you know, which is kind of weird. But anyway, so he's not a murderer or anything like that. But, you know, again, the situation could have went completely different. He could have turned out to be it could have been completely different. And I'm just extremely thankful that it went the way that it did and it didn't go any other way, you know. But I just feel like from jump, I should have just trusted my instinct. As soon as I seen he wasn't the person in the picture, I should have just kind of been like, no, I'm good. You should never lie, you know, and just went about my business. But that's the thing. You see boys and, like, you know, you want to, the other side of you, like, oh, he's fine. Yeah, his fine ass could have, like, you know, put me 6 feet under. Ugh. The night ended off. I minded up just going home or whatever. And I remember just coming home and I deleted Jack. I was like, this is why I don't do this app. Okay, and it kind of put the icing on the cake for me. Like, this is why, you know, and that was that. But yeah, that was the end of my story time, guys. I just felt like it was really important, though, to kind of share that with you guys, and to kind of let anyone else out there know. Don't let, like, things like being lonely, because that was something too, you know, I think this past year has taught me how to kind of really be by myself. As far as just being home alone a lot of the days, you know, in quarantine and stuff, not being able to like go and do a bunch of social stuff as frequently as I would normally do. And it really just taught me to kind of be by myself and be in that loneliness, you know what I mean? And sometimes that's okay, but don't let being lonely make you make bad judgments or bad decisions, you know? Because like I said, that situation could have been completely different, and I'm so blessed that it went the way that it did. It definitely woke me up. It was a warning, and yeah. So yeah, that is my story time for today. That's my story time. Before I go, again, I have so many things in store for this year. I have a few things that I want to do. My channel, I'm going to be switching it up. I'm going to be doing story times. I have another segment I'm going to do that I think I'm going to be, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm going to be like trying different like little foreign foods and just certain things that I kind of want to try. I'll let you guys know about that. I'm going to be doing like health stuff, skincare, all types of stuff, okay? If you have any suggestions of things that you want me to do, you know what to do. Leave it in the comments. All right, let me stop playing with y'all. I gotta go. But I love you guys so much. Make sure you listen. This is that year. This is that year to be grinding. We not playing this year. Get on your grind. Do your thing. Period. Yeah. Bye, guys. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.